Even the strongest hearts had their limits, but Rasheeda had always been a strong, graceful, and resilient lady. The day she had been dreading finally came. After years of ups and downs with her husband Kirk Frost, the never-ending cycle of betrayal, grief, and deceit had taken its toll. She was done, and this time there would be no going back. This wasn't the first time the whispers had become something actual. During the past few years, Rasheeda had learned that Kirk Frost, the man she had believed she could trust completely, had crossed a line that even her love could no longer mend. When Rasheeda found herself alone in their home one fateful night, scrolling through her phone, the text messages that had been sent between Kirk and Jasmine Washington were laid bare before her eyes. They weren't just flirty, they were intimate, real, and heartbreaking reminders of how little respect Kirk had. Kirk's infidelity, especially his secretive dealings with Jasmine Washington, the woman who had been the catalyst for their most recent troubles, spoke louder than his words. Rasheeda had experienced the highs and lows of their relationship, their business endeavors, their children, the good times and the bad. But the constant cycle of betrayal had eroded the woman she once was. For her, it became evident that the affair wasn't just a passing mistake. He had spent the night with Jasmine once more, which she had known, but now it felt like a cruel confirmation of everything she had feared. The pain was overwhelming, but Rasheeda found a quiet clarity in that moment. She stood in front of the mirror, staring at her reflection, pleading for forgiveness after every mistake. At one point, she couldn't have imagined her life without Kirk, but now the burden of his lies was too heavy to bear. Her love for him hadn't gone away overnight, but she still respected their marriage, which she knew was the cornerstone of any long-lasting relationship. With a heavy heart, Rasheeda decided the following morning that she would not battle for something that Kirk was unable to fight for himself. When Kirk eventually came home and saw the empty space where Rasheeda's belongings had once been, he realized she had packed her things with a sense of resolve. She knew that this was the first step toward regaining her own peace and happiness. The life she had worked so hard to build with Kirk was now a chapter she had to close. It came crashing down, but it was too late. Rasheeda had given him more opportunities than she should have, in the hopes that he would change and put her needs ahead of his own personal interests. But now that she was leaving the life she had created with Kirk, she was choosing herself. She was not just leaving a man behind, she was recovering her life, her dignity, and her future. The road ahead was uncertain, but one thing was certain: she was no longer scared to face the challenges head-on. With her newfound independence, Rasheeda would find a power far stronger than the pain that had previously defined her love story. Her journey was not just about leaving Kirk. It was also about rediscovering who she was, beyond the woman behind the man.
Paint me out to be this crazy person that I'm not, but it's not the first time, and hopefully it'll be the last.
So basically just trying to, number one, stop wasting my money on lawyers. So the amount of money that I sent you, that's the number you cool with, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna put an agreement together and we'll agree on that and we can end this lawyer.
Period.
Okay,
I'm
so
with
that's
that.
where I'm at.
All right. Well, there we
Not anything yet.
No.
Is that because are you guys still trying to work it out, or does it just make more sense for you guys to just be separate?
Well, the thing is, we've sat and had a conversation about trying to maybe not do it through attorneys and see if we can come to some type of agreement, that way. And at the same time, I also feel like, and it's not even the point of just trying to work it out, but I'm also like, I'm at a place where I'm like, okay, I pretty much kind of got the information, and am I ready to serve him with these papers? This is the first time something like this has happened in our marriage, and I'm feeling like, okay, is the answer immediately, although it's all the crazy stuff that's happened, is the answer immediately divorce, step into this place, or is it let's try to figure out if we're going to just separate and try to work out percentages, things like to that nature. So that's kind of where it is right now. Just maybe considering not having to do an actual divorce, but just at this moment, but just figuring out what we want to do and see if we want to go ahead and take it to the divorce line later, or That may not be the case. As of right now, who's to say? My main concern ain't even just the fact of filing the divorce. It's just about trying to, stay focused, not overstress myself, and get ready for this baby, whether he's a part of the situation.
Okay.
Here we go. Rasheeda walked away the moment she saw me with her head down. Let's be honest, she can't even face me. But I'm not surprised to see that Kirk and Rasheeda made up. That woman will jump in the casket with him.
No.
No, I'm not.
So the agreement was that you get Cannon the third weekend every month. Do you do that?
No, we didn't really agree to that because the last.
And signed on paper. This is what I just say. It's not gonna ever be exactly what you want it to be. But one thing you ain't gonna never, ever, ever have to question or worry about is that boy getting the love and the same treatment as all the other kids when he's around.
Kirk ended up saying something flirty after Rasheeda stood up. It seemed like he was still messing with Jasmine behind the scenes.
I've always been concerned, and I've always loved him. I've never seen that. Heard from you. You don't have to hear from me because Cannon knows what's up. That's all that matters. Understand why it's a little weird now, but you know it's not weird. It's now all of a sudden. I've always been there since I decided to forgive him. If I forgave him, I got to take everything that comes with it, and that's Cannon. Y'all figure something out so we can get this boy on track like he needs to be on track.
You know in the book.
I can't believe this. What's going on right now? She's a put up at your event like,
I can't believe it. Like, you just pull up and you're here. Like, what book are you on then? Like, what the book is this? Of course, I don't want to hear it. But if I say something to it, it's going to cause a bigger scene. So I'm going to ignore her ass and keep it moving.
You're here. I'm here. Who invited her? I know her and I argued at times back at the party the other day, but she came up to me and be nice to me, so I'm gonna be nice too. Are you good? I'm good. But you know me, I'm close with her to get the tea. Are you gonna over there and talk to Rasheeda because the conversation needs to happen? I don't have nothing to say to that lady. I don't. She don't technically owe her. She didn't think about it. You came to the party, so you come to the party. Who comes to a party and says, but why come at all?
I'm here tonight because I was invited. The easiest way to get rid of me is to tell the truth. How are we even gonna do this? I swear to God, I was gonna out him nothing. I'm doing this because he tried to say that I come to the door in my birthday suit, and that is never the case. But since you want to go there, let's go there. You want to make me look crazy by your lies, I'm gonna make you look crazy by my truth. So that's all it is for me. Like, you took it there, and now let's go there.
You're here. So are you going to address the situation or not?
I don't feel like I owe her that. It's not my job.
Well, then I'm going to go talk to Rasheeda and show her the things. Let me see your phone.
You want to see my phone again?
Yes. One more time.
The same message.
Yeah.
This is the text message between me and her.
Mm-hmm.
He said, so-and-so amount this week. This is not a one-time thing. I'm telling y'all, this tried to put me on several occasions. He's been proven time and time again to lie about you. When have I ever been proven wrong? You know,
After years of enduring betrayal and deceit, Rasheeda finally reaches her breaking point in her tumultuous marriage with Kirk Frost. Despite always being strong, graceful, and resilient, she can no longer ignore the painful truth. One night, while scrolling through her phone, she uncovers intimate text messages between Kirk and Jasmine Washington, confirming her worst fears about his infidelity. This revelation hits hard, not as a single mistake, but as a pattern of lies and betrayal that has eroded her trust and love for him. As Rasheeda processes the pain, she comes to a painful but clear decision. She deserves more than the cycle of heartbreak Kirk has trapped her in. With quiet resolve, she packs her things, knowing that the time has come to let go. When Kirk returns home, he is confronted with the emptiness where her belongings once were, a painful reminder of his choices. Despite his pleas for forgiveness, Rasheeda remains firm in her decision. She's not just leaving him behind, she's choosing herself. She's reclaiming her dignity, her peace, and her future. With newfound strength, Rasheeda walks away from the life she built with Kirk, no longer afraid to face the challenges ahead. Her journey, she knows, is not just about leaving him behind, but about rediscovering who she truly is, beyond the man who once held her heart. Reality castmates were shocked by the violent brawl between the Jamaican dancehall queen and the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star. Fans were left buzzing after Jasmine's dramatic showdown on live TV. Reality TV just became a whole lot more exciting. It is widely regarded as one of the most horrific scenes in the program's history. But let's find out what actually transpired to cause such mayhem. And what was the tipping point that made Spice lose it? Interview. So, Spice has been handling some serious challenges between maintaining her international music career and juggling the intense dynamics of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. It's clear she's been under a lot of pressure. Add to that the relentless scrutiny from her castmates and fans, and it's no wonder tensions were building on the show. Spice is often seen as a strong, commanding figure, but even the toughest personalities have their breaking point. Behind her bold attitude was a woman managing stress from all angles. And this confrontation seemed to be the result of all that pent-up frustration. Then there's Jasmine Washington, who has a knack for stirring things up. Since her introduction to the group, Jasmine's history has been anything but quiet. Her connection to Scrappy and past entanglements in the Atlanta scene have left her with a reputation as a divisive figure. Jasmine's presence in the group has always been polarizing. While some appreciate her straightforward nature, others see her as a troublemaker. On this particular occasion, Jasmine showed up uninvited to a gathering, immediately causing unease among the cast. For Spice, who was already dealing with her own personal struggles, Jasmine's arrival felt like an unwelcome intrusion. The tension between these two women didn't come out of nowhere. Weeks of subtle jabs, unresolved grievances, and personality clashes had created an undercurrent of animosity. During previous group interactions, Jasmine's comments and attitude seemed to rub Spice the wrong way, though the two had managed to avoid a full-blown confrontation. Until now. The moment Jasmine stepped into the event, it felt like the air shifted. It was clear to everyone that things might get heated. Little did they know, the tension was about to boil over in the most dramatic way possible. It all began with a casual comment from Jasmine, but for Spice, it hit a nerve. Jasmine's words were sharp, maybe even intentionally provocative, and Spice wasn't about to let it slide. Her response was a cutting remark that made it clear she wasn't in the mood to play nice. The energy in the room shifted as the argument escalated. Spice's voice grew louder, her tone more pointed, and it was clear she was no longer just reacting to Jasmine's comment. She was unloading weeks of frustration. The other cast members sat frozen, exchanging uneasy glances. Some tried to defuse the situation, but it was already spiraling out of control. The room felt charged with tension, as though everyone could sense that something big was about to happen. Jasmine, for her part, didn't back down. Her retorts were just as sharp, and the back and forth quickly turned into a verbal sparring match that left everyone on edge. Then came the moment no one expected, but everyone feared. In the heat of the argument, Spice reached out and slapped Jasmine across the face. The sound of the slap echoed through the room, cutting through the chaos and leaving a stunned silence in its wake. Jasmine's hand went to her cheek as she stared at Spice in shock, her expression a mix of hurt and disbelief. The immediate reactions from the other cast members were just as surprising. For a moment, it felt like the entire room was holding its breath. This wasn't just a petty argument anymore. It had crossed a line, and everyone knew it. Interview. Everyone was stunned after the slap, as if attempting to comprehend what had just transpired. Jasmine grasped her cheeks and stared at Spice with wide eyes. "Are you serious right now?" she eventually asked, her normally assured voice trembling. Although her behavior was disturbed, she refused to back down. As the tension in the room increased, and the demand for an explanation grew even thicker, she stood frozen for a brief moment. The other cast members immediately joined in to try to mediate before things became worse. "You pushed me too far," she said, in a tone that was still defiant but laced with guilt. The first to speak, Rasheeda moved between the two women and raised her hands. "You all need to calm down," she shouted, her voice cutting through the confusion in an attempt to remind them of the implications. Carly Red said, "We have cameras rolling, y'all. This is too much," as she urged both women to stand back and consider the wider picture. Meanwhile, videos of the fight went viral on social media. with spectators watching every second in real time on Twitter. There were also heated discussions on Instagram about who was at fault. While some fans supported Team Spice, saying that she was right to defend herself and not allow Jasmine to treat her disrespectfully, others supported Jasmine, claiming no amount of provocation could justify physical retaliation. The battle swiftly gained popularity thanks to memes. Thought pieces and even hashtags like Team Spice emerged in the days after the incident. Following the controversy, Spice took to social media to reflect on what had happened. In an honest Instagram Live session, she acknowledged that the slap wasn't her best moment. However, when the dust settled, both women had to face the fallout from the episode. "I allowed my feelings to control me," she admitted. Spice stated that weeks of accumulated stress, both on and off the show, had driven her to a breaking point. She added, "I'm human, but I know I shouldn't have let it get to that level." Her candor struck a chord with some fans, who appreciated her readiness to take responsibility for her actions. However, Jasmine wasn't happy with Spice's justification and took to social media, sharing a series of Instagram videos in which she vented her annoyance. "Nobody should be treated with such contempt," she stated. Jasmine criticized Spice for resorting to violence, stressing that there are always other ways to resolve disputes. She also demanded accountability, arguing that an apology alone wasn't sufficient. Spice's fans claim that Jasmine had been aggravating her for weeks, asserting that everyone has a breaking point. This led many to wonder if Jasmine intended to take further action against Spice. After pushing buttons, Jasmine finally realized what was likely to happen. Nonetheless, some remarked that Jasmine's supporters insisted physical violence was unacceptable, regardless of the situation. The altercation sparked discussions about the nature of reality TV drama. Some viewers pointed out that the show's creators rely on inciting conflict between cast members, making such incidents nearly unavoidable. Others blamed the cast for engaging in stereotypical forms of violent altercations, claiming that such behavior overshadowed the women's achievements and contributions. As emotions subsided, both Spice and Jasmine were held accountable for their actions. The incident highlighted the emotional toll reality TV takes on its stars, as the harm between Spice and Jasmine was already done. Being in the spotlight comes with its own set of difficulties, especially when cameras capture every fight, tear, and mistake. Cast members often feel pressured to remain relevant in a competitive, cutthroat environment, sometimes prodded by producers. One fan commented on Twitter, "The boundaries between entertainment and real life blur in these shows. It might be enjoyable to us, but it's draining for them." While fans watch the drama, it's clear that the disputes aren't always staged. Spice's outbursts reflected genuine frustrations and emotions that went beyond the show's storyline. As one Instagram user put it, "People forget that these are real humans with feelings, not just characters for ratings." This incident also raised concerns about the precedent such behavior sets. There's a difference between creating turmoil for entertainment and fostering genuine disdain among cast members. One viewer suggested that reality TV needs to reconsider what it's promoting. The clash between Spice and Jasmine is more than just entertainment. It's a raw glimpse into the unfiltered world behind the cameras. It prompts questions about the industry. The confrontation between Spice and Jasmine has had a significant impact on the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta cast, their fans, and the public. This isn't just about two women fighting, it's about a system profiting from their struggles. The producers and networks must take responsibility for creating environments that thrive on tension and conflict. From the heated argument to the shocking slap, this incident has exposed the emotional strain of living in the spotlight. It has also sparked a broader conversation about the limits of reality TV. So now, it's your turn. What do you think? Did Jasmine push Spice too far? Or did Spice justify her reaction? Do you think both women crossed a line? Let's continue the conversation, and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on every crazy moment from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Opening shot. A dramatic close-up of Spice, one of the most popular celebrities in the entertainment industry, looking tense and agitated. The background is filled with flashing lights and a buzzing crowd. Cut to a shot of Jasmine, a rising star in the industry, looking calm and collected, sitting next to Spice on a talk show set. Welcome back to Shownam, where we have two of the hottest stars in the industry with us tonight. Spice and Jasmine, it's great to have you both here. Spice shifts uncomfortably in her seat, shooting Jasmine a dirty look. Jasmine smiles politely, seemingly unfazed by the tension in the air. Host.